Alright guys, well, I'm reviewing another movie and I'm getting forward, or getting prepared, for 28 years later. So, 20 days later and 28 weeks later, I don't know enough of the physical media history, but I do know that for some reason they are incredibly hard to find to get a physical copy of those two movies. And so I got super lucky, and for 28 days later, I have the Blu-ray. I found a movie trading company. It was a pricey Blu-ray. This was not cheap. It wasn't some dramatic, extremely overpriced price point, but it was not cheap to get a used Blu-ray, because these movies are so hard to find. And so I watched it a little bit back. Now I'm ready to review it because I'm seeing the new one really soon. And we're going to talk about it. So, for these movies, on the surface level, take it at face value, it's just another zombie apocalypse movie. So, I had always wondered what makes these movies stand out. And I think it's two things. One, it's the acting, I think is really good. And two, I think it makes the world feel more gruesome. There aren't really, like, joke characters in this movie. Usually in zombie apocalypse, there's the stoner, there's the jock, there's the high school homecoming queen. There's all these characters that you can tell a lot of them are going to die. In this movie, there really is no joke characters at all. Everyone's taking it very seriously. This is a very dark tone movie. There really isn't any room for jokes or humor in it. So this movie was just taken a lot more seriously than most of the others, or I would say most other zombie apocalypse themed movies that I've seen personally. So, yeah, I really did like this one a lot. I don't know if I like it enough to say it's one of my favorites, but it is an extremely great movie, and I can see exactly why this movie is so hard to find. So, sort of talk about it. So, Cillian Murphy, I've heard it pronounced two different ways. He plays Jim, and he sort of gets the opener for this movie where he just wakes up in the hospital. He doesn't see any staff. He doesn't see anyone else around him. There's no other patients. There's no bodies. Everyone's just gone. And so obviously there's a lot of questions he has. And as he sort of goes out into the city, as he makes his way outside of the hospital, he's making his way around the city. There's cars that are abandoned. There's cars that are crashed. But there's still no people. Still no bodies. Still just nothing. And so, you know, the mystery, it heats up. You're starting to wonder what's really going on. I would assume people who saw the trailer for this a while back know it's a zombie apocalypse movie, but for me, going into it the first time, I knew it was a zombie movie, but I didn't know how it started. I didn't know any plot twists. I didn't know the fate of certain characters. So I kind of got to go into this one mostly blind. So it was really cool to see sort of everything just surprised me as it goes along. And so Jim meets Selena. There's another guy with her that for the life of me I can't remember his name. These two are two survivors together, and he meets them because he ended up going to, I guess, this church or this mosque, whatever it was, this huge religious building, and he finds zombies in there. Now they're chasing after him. He's running, and now he meets Selena and it's other guys with her. So now there's three of them. There are three survivors. They sort of find a place to sort of camp out for the night, and these are our core group of survivors now. And so as they sort of make their way early on in the movie, very early on in the movie, the guy that's with Selena, he ends up getting killed. A zombie ends up getting to him, and they say it takes, I forget the exact time, it takes like 10 or 20 seconds for them to turn. So if someone gets infected, you gotta kill them like immediately. And so that's exactly what Selena does. This person that's been with her for years, just boom, done. No hesitation, nothing. And so it was instantaneous. So now Jim, of course, he's freaking out. He's like, oh my god, if she's gonna do this to him, she would definitely do it to me. And so now we have Jim and Selena. They're only two survivors. They're sort of moving on, running and meet Hannah and her dad. And so they're in this really tall building, and they think, yep, we're just going to stay here and camp out. But they're looking for a place to go where there's a sanctuary, where Jim and Selena don't really, well, they're sort of discussing amongst themselves. They're not really agreeing on if there really is a sanctuary. And but Hannah and her father, they believe it. So off the four of them go to sort of find this sanctuary where there's supposed to be this military presence to defend survivors. And so as we sort of progress on through the movie, we get to see a little bit more of what life is like for them, what life is like in this apocalypse, where the little things are just super appreciated, like a good snack or somewhere to sleep or something that's comfy. So you're really seeing how gruesome this world really is through this movie. It portrays what that sort of apocalypse world might really look like, and it's not really a sort of goofy, yes, this is a horror movie, so let's make it goofy kind of way. This was a very serious, attention detail kind of movie. And so as they get to where they believe this military presence is supposed to be, Hannah's dad ends up getting affected, and the military takes him out. They do show up at the last second and take Hannah and Jim and Selena and sort of protect them and take them to their base where it is being protected. But they realize that there are no other survivors. They put that out there, but there's no one else there. And Jim quickly realizes there's more going on than he was led to believe. It turns out that these military guys were some of the only survivors in the area, and the military leader there, he promised his soldiers women, because they're born to want a woman around to do whatever they want, I guess. And so it's a really dark theme for this kind of movie. And so obviously military guys are like, all right, Jim, he's caused enough problems being there already, so he's taking him out to try and kill him. And they're, all right, Selena, Hannah, you guys belong to us now, stand put. Well, Jim survives what was supposed to be his execution, and he ends up letting loose some more zombies in the base to take out the military. And as it's a race as who can kill enough zombies, if Jim's going to get to Hannah and Selena in time, in this big climactic sort of gunfire showdown in what I would consider the finale for the movie, he does luckily eventually get to Selena and Hannah, and he is able to barely get them out of there in this climactic showdown. So yeah, it was really cool. I really enjoyed this movie, and of course these three characters do make it to safety by the end of the movie, but the movie doesn't exactly give closure as to what's next for the world of the 28 days or weeks or years later series. And so that's where the next one will pick up, is sort of recapping a little bit, and it picks up at an interesting point in time. But as far as this movie is concerned, I really think it was entertaining throughout. I thought the acting was good. I loved the portrayal of the world, and yeah, there's just really no complaints. So I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I thought it was really, really great. And I did go on to see 28 Weeks Later, which I also thought was really good. So yeah, I'm hyped for the new one. So yeah, I'm ready for it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching my review for this one. Keep it digging, guys. I'll see you next time.